Okay, so we're recording. Yay. All right. Happy October, guys. October 3rd. So the last time we had Carlos on our call, it was January. So actually fast forward 10 months, right? It's insane. It's going super, super fast. I can't even believe it. But here we are. So we're going to go through really quickly some housekeeping things, and then we're going to hand over the call to Carlos. So everyone knows that our All Access Challenge Pack is still $160, which is, I think, is still ridiculously priced. When I started, it was $205 for one program, Shakeology, a meal plan. That's it. Now you get like everything in that Beachbody has ever created. You get access for it to an entire year. You get access to all the new programs being released. You get access to, all the meal plans for each of those programs. You get containers that didn't exist when I started. You get a universal meal plan. Man, you get so much. You get 30-day supply of Shakeology. It's just so much for $160. So I think it's a bargain. So make sure that you are, that you are a believer on that price, because people can sense that hesitation on their end if you aren't. I think is, again, ridiculously priced, because I paid $205 for one program. So that being said, also super excited that, everyone who has access to Beachbody On Demand is able to access Clean Week today, which hopefully all of you guys have tried already. The sneak peek to it, which I thought was amazing, the core function workout. I was sweating bullets. So I am pretty sure that program is going to be amazing. So $30, 7-day supply of Shakeology, meal plan. I mean, you can't go wrong. This is for people who want to, that are on the fence, that maybe can't afford the 160 yet. Maybe they're a little hesitant. They want to kind of see what this whole, accountability challenge group is all about. This is a great way to get them, into our world and to have them experience how amazing our accountability groups are, and that they can get results, and they will get results in 7 days. And, that's how you get them hooked. All right. So that was launched today. So make sure that you watch Kim's video. Audrey posted it in Luminous Nation. I will grab it and post it on Team Admin's page so that everyone knows how to, offer it to your prospects. All right. Also, Carl was live today at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For about an hour. I will get the recording if you missed that as well. He talked a lot about our Clean Week, right? And how other coaches are positioning that. So to help their business grow. So make sure that you take full advantage, guys, of these new tools that Beachbody is giving us. UK launch, October 19th. If you, haven't been in the midst of that, make sure that they're in the champions page. They are doing a lot of calls. I know that they're inviting all of us to participate. So make sure that you learn more about it, so that, once you get your prospects out there, how to help them and how to help them launch their business out there, or even if you're just helping a customer. All right, so I think that's all for the news right now. Again, it's October 3rd, so early in the month. However, it goes like this. We're already in October. So tonight, I'm really, really excited about having Carlos Morales once again on our call. You guys who are on Team Admin know that he killed our first call of the year. So we've been trying to get him back. Carlos, we are so happy that you and your family are safe from the hurricane. And we're really thankful that you are here tonight with us again. So let me tell you a little bit about Carlos Morales and who he is if you don't know him. So he is married to, a lot of people know him because he's Ivy Morales' husband, right? They have 2 kids together. He is a military veteran. So he served in the U.S. Navy for 21 years. and he'll, tell you a little bit about his story with Beachbody. But because of this business, now he's been able to retire the military life. So thank you for your service, number one. He is a 1-star diamond coach in his business. He is a Success Club 5 All-Star legend, 33 plus months. I did the math from like the stats that we did back in January. I'm pretty sure it's more than that, maybe a month off or two, which means that Carlos has helped, since he started his business, he's helped at least 3 people every single month. He is the co-founder of 413 Global Team with Ivy Morales. They are currently ranked number 11. Pay attention. Number 11 in the entire Beachbody network, which means out of 450,000 teams, they are number 11, guys. So I know that I am ready with this. I got more pens in case my ink runs out. Y'all better be taking notes. They are at 2017 Elite Team. And for those that know Carlos, he is also known as El Profe, which means that he is a teacher, which means that he is the brains of the operation, guys. When I get together with them, I am all ears, and he always is willing to share. So tonight he will be sharing about some recruiting tips. And Carlos, tell us a little bit about, how, a little bit of, for those that don't know you, I mean, I gave a little bit of who you are, but how you got involved with Beachbody, and then, just take it away.
Thank you so much for that intro. Me listening to it, I'm like, wow, who's that guy? What are they talking about?
That's you.
But thank you for that intro. And I'm always excited to share, especially on this team. Always, all the time. I feel at home, so I don't feel that that I gotta impress anybody. But if you don't know me, Carlos Morales, for a long time I had been in network marketing, but I failed a lot. And before Beachbody, I had issues with my kidneys. I had a lot of kidney stones reoccurring for about 3 years, and I was looking for ways to get healthy. I even had P90 shelf. I had it in the closet. And I tried that, and I would puke, and I would let it go. Because I was in really bad shape. But after seeing my wife's transformation, I actually got inspired to do it. She got transformation with P90X. I started Insanity. I lost 37 pounds. And at that time, it was a wake-up call for me to keep going with this lifestyle. And then after that, we began to really get serious with the business side once we found out there was a business to this. And the reason we found out there was a business to this because of my wife's sponsoring coach. So as she shared, we were like following, and then we found out there was a team, and then we said, let's be part of that team. And after that, it was all she wrote. We started in 2011. That was September 2011 is when we signed up. 413 Global was born that same week. We came in with a vision to be 413 Global in Espanol. To this day, glory to God, it is. So that's how we began. Today, I still maintain my weight off. I got enough energy to play with my kids or be with them, whatever I got to do with them. Back then, I was lethargic, and even though I was in the military, I was in the comfortable area of the military where I was already pretty much a boss. I was already in a high rank where I didn't have to do a lot of manual work. So in the last 4 years, we really had to hone in as to what was going to be of me retiring out of the military, because the plan was for me to retire anyway. And this year I was able to retire because the income is sufficient and more than expected. And I don't have to go get a boss. Okay. So now I am actually 100% working Beachbody And as she said, been in Success Club for the past almost 3 years. And a lot of people say, well, I support my spouse. Well, I support and do the business. So I don't just support it. I also do the business. I also recruit. I also sponsor. I'm going to talk about the difference in a few, but I want to tell you off the bat that you do have a leader that a lot of people look up to. So Gabby is someone that people do look up to. You have an amazing team, and she understands what it takes to be successful. So make no mistake that that's why I feel at home. Every time I come and share, I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Gabby's team. I hardly do calls. I'm telling you, because the way it normally goes on any team call that I do, you take notes and then ask questions at the end. But I hardly do calls because I also do a coaching business on the side. And I don't want to get it too mixed up with what I do with Beachbody. But at the same time, I know I feel the need to serve our team because this is part of Team Eagle. And we're like brother and sister teams. So anytime that Gabby needs help, I'm there. So that's a little bit about me.
Thank you, Carlos. We also have, I actually partnered today's call with Audrey.
Oh,
so Audrey está en la llamada.
Audrey is here too.
Here, está escondida.
Awesome. That's Luminous Nation, I think.
Luminous Nation, yeah.
Yes. Welcome, Luminous Nation, then.
I said, Carlos going to be on. I said, cualquier cosa que tú tengas ahí, bótala. Like, I'm there.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, I'm actually excited to give you what I got today. And like I said, the way it normally goes, you take notes at the end of the call, ask questions. So I'm going to go, and then you ask questions because I want to get to the point where we can actually, if we have time, even role play if you want. I don't care. All right. So I'm going to share with you 7 tips on how to become a good recruiter. All right. And before I begin, I want you to understand the difference between the two. Well, I say the two, but there's such thing as sponsoring, and then there's another thing as recruiting. Okay. So sponsoring is when you bring someone in to the business with no experience, no skills, nothing. But when you recruit someone, it's because you're looking for a specific skill in that person. So if you've heard of human resources in any company, when there's a headhunter or a recruiter, they're looking for specific traits, specific things in people. They put out what a resume should be like and all of that stuff. It's because they need qualified people to fill positions. Well, when you recruit, that's what I define recruitment as. You go out and find a partner worthy of you spending time with them to build an empire. So if you are looking for people to join your challenge group and they come in as a coach and they have no previous skills or nothing, you're sponsoring that person. What is the meaning of being a sponsor? You are responsible 100% for them to get started correctly. And you are 100% responsible so that that person actually has results. When you recruit someone, they already come with a set of skills that will add to your team, but they will add value to your team. So if you want an example is that when you recruit people at your same level or above. But when you sponsor whoever. You're not looking for a skill. You're just looking for someone to come in and get results. All right. So by knowing the difference between the two, you will know how to spend your time when it comes to sponsoring or recruiting. All right. So out of these 7 tips, number 1 is disconnecting from the outcome. Okay. I call it disconnect before you connect. The reason I'm saying this is because there is a sense of anticipation every time you connect with a new person. Every time you connect with a new contact on Facebook, on Instagram, or face to face, there is some anticipation, like that question in your head: will this person join? Will this person be part of my team? Does this person have what it takes? I need you to clear your mind and disconnect from the outcome at the moment you meet someone new. I want you to have and think in your head, I need to make a friend. Disconnect from the outcome. You gotta just have in your mind, I need to make a friend. Once you can make a friend, then it's gonna be the next step. And the next step is finding the need. So number 2 is connect, find the need, and fulfill a need. Number 2 is connect, find the need, and fulfill the need. How do you do this? Once you connect, you're going to be having conversation with this person using form. Okay? If you don't know anything about form, that's probably a separate training that Gabby has to do with you, but it has to do with connecting with the person on a personal level, where you talk about their occupation, their recreation, their family, and then ultimately you lead in with the message that you got for that person when it comes to getting involved with you. But before you even put out anything about what you offer, you must connect with this person. So that's why we connect first. So we have casual conversation, which is what I call small talk. Once you get some small talk going, hey, so have you lived in this area a long time? Or let's say you're in New York and in Queens, and you meet somebody and you say, so you from Queens? That person's going to tell you if they're from Queens or not, if how they grew up, all this, you grew up here all your life, something like that. Something that opens the person up to talk about themselves. You want to open people up to talk about themselves and reveal to you a need. As you listen, as you ask questions, you listen for a need. So once you have a need exposed, what most amateurs do is that they immediately start selling. And what you don't want to do is immediately start selling your opportunity. What you want to do is hold your mouth, put a zipper, and be like, okay, I got that for later. And keep talking. All right. Now, once you have a need identified, you are going to get ready to fulfill the need. All right. Now, that's when the message comes in. So in number 3, you use the qualifying interview, which is what we call in Beachbody the 5-step invitation process. So there is where you use that process to qualify a person for your time. If you just speak and talk and blah, 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 and you have no purpose and no direction of where you're going, you're going to probably waste 1 or 2 hours talking to someone and get nowhere. The purpose of the interview, the purpose of the 5-step process is for you to find out if this person qualifies for your time. Okay? So you got to become clear who you want in your team and write this down. You need to write down what qualities you want in a person, and then you got to write down what qualities you do not want in a person. Unless you're clear with the people that you do not want in your team, it's going to be very hard for you to disqualify people during the conversation. Because during the conversation, some people do disqualify themselves immediately. Here's the kind of language that I look for. I'm gonna go a little bit off base, but here's the language I look for. When someone's talking to me and they start going, yeah, I don't know, and they start giving me this language, that means they checked out. They checked out of the conversation. Or I made them think too deep or something. And they just like, well, yeah, the YEAH, yeah. Or they say, I don't know a lot before they start talking. Well, I don't know, da 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 da. I don't know this and this and that. Those are people that are checked out. They're not consciously there. They're like their body language. They start looking to the ceiling before they answer you. So they're looking for a story to tell you because they're not really being truthful, or they're checked out of where they're at right now. They check out of their reality and start going into fantasy land and try to tell you a story. And sometimes people try to tell you what you want to hear. And you gotta be very watchful about that, because some people want to tell you what you want to hear so that you give them the information and get out. So once you start noticing people giving you this kind of language that is very non-committal, and you watch out for that, you're going to understand if this person qualifies for your time or not. And immediately is when I say, how serious are you about blank? So when I ask people, how serious are you about, I don't know, losing weight or toning up or whatever it is that their goal is, they're going to tell me why. And then I'm going to ask, tell me a little more about that. And when someone says, tell me a little bit more about that, the other person feels obligated to expand. And that's what you want. You want people to expand because you want to identify the need behind the need. During the conversational form, you found the need. But now I need you to really dig deep and find the need behind the need so that you understand where this person is coming from and what's the motivating factor. Once you have the motivating factor, now you're going to find out if this person is ready to buy. I'm telling you a process of sales. This is a process of how to understand how to move a prospect into a qualified buyer. You have to look at it in the process of sales because this is a process of sales. If you at any time had a negative connotation with sales, sorry to break it down to you, but you sell every day anyway. Okay, so if you understand that this process is a sales process, you will be successful. As soon as you identify that this is what it is, you will be successful because you're going to become a student of what sales is. And I know that Gabby is a student of Danny Johnson and the Danny Johnson system. I recommend it that you become a student of the Danny Johnson system. If you haven't been to the first step of success, I recommend you get registered for the next one. Okay. And the reason I'm saying that is because the skills that I have come from that teaching, from the many courses that Danny Johnson offers. And this has helped me tremendously because it helps you. Like if you're in this step right here, where it's qualifying someone for your time, you spend less time talking to unqualified people. Let me say it again. You spend less time talking to unqualified people. You don't waste time. How many of you have found yourself talking to someone for about an hour or two, and then all of a sudden they say, well, let me think about it. Huh? And here's the reason. You were talking too much. That's the reason. Because you were talking to somebody that's not qualified. You were not able to identify that this person was not serious by the way they were talking, by the things they were saying. They were already giving it away at the beginning of the conversation that they were not ready. But you saw yourself as being their savior and their hope, and I want to help you. And we have to disconnect from that. We got to disconnect from the outcome. We have to disconnect from all of that. Once you disconnect, you can actually see this process as a simple process. All right. Number 4. So ensure that you identify what part of the interview you're in. So that's a 5-step process. Then you always have to be aware, am I in step 1? Am I in step 2? Am I in step 3? So always identify, because with chit chat, with regular conversation, you might stray off where you were at. And you need to identify where you were. So where was I? Okay, I was finding out the why. Okay, I'm still in step 2. Let me go back. And if they already told you the why, then I should be on step 3 right now. They already told me the why. I should find out if they're serious about getting started. So you, as you begin to use the steps, you're going to get. Let me ask this. Let me do a quick survey. How many in here actually use the 5-step invitation process? Actually use it. Not what I want to hear, remember, but what you actually do. How many use it? I need madre. So this is a problem. Okay. Now, that's good to know. And I'm glad that you were honest. But you see what might be a problem that you have right now. And what I see in most people that I coach is that they fail to follow directions. And at the beginning, you must become a very loyal student of a successful system. And the 5-step invitation process, it is a successful system. So if you try to reinvent the wheel, try to do your own steps and try to do your own invitation process, then it's going to be a little bit frustrating for you because you're going to stray off in the conversation. You're not going to stay on message and you're going to waste time. So what I want to do for you is make sure that you identify that you have to really value your time. Because when you spend time talking to a prospect, it's time that you're taking away from your spouse, kids, family time. That doesn't come back. It don't come back. So if you're not jealous and selfish enough with your time, people will do whatever they want with it. Okay? And they'll ask you ridiculous questions and keep you occupied for about an hour and then tell you they want to think about it. But if you use the invitation process and you actually interview this person for a position, that's the way you got to look at it. You're a business owner. You are bringing people in to your team to add value to your team. You're not bringing them in just for kicks. You're bringing them in to add value to your team. That means you need to be a little bit inquisitive about how serious these people are about getting started. Are they serious about getting a transformation, or are they serious about building a business? Same thing goes when you have a client inside your challenge group and they tell you they want to become a coach. You need to give them a small interview to see if they're serious, because they may just be a little bit distracted about what's going on in the team, and they like what happened in the last meeting, and then they like the fact that you guys got together for some barbecue or something, and then they're like, I want to be part of that. But then they're not really serious. So you do have to qualify people for your time. You got to be very jealous about that. So
Carlos, can I interrupt you?
Yes.
Because since you asked the question and many people didn't raise their hands, can you go over the 5-step invitation process? I know that I actually teach my team during their coach basics, like the first 5 days. You know, I use Tony Migrant because I think his video is like the easiest, short, to the point. But I know that many of them, you know, are a little old coach. I shouldn't say old, but veteran coaches, and maybe they forgot. But I'm not sure at what point Audrey introduces the 5-step invitation process. So is there any way you can just go through that so that for those coaches that are a little rusty with it, you know, they know exactly what it is that you're talking about? Because at this point, I think some of them might be thinking, what is he talking about right now?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. To help out what Gabby's talking about, the 5-step invitation process is a system that we use to talk to people. A lot of people always say, what do I say? How do I say it? And it's a script, pretty much. This script is in the back office. If you look in the area with the coach tools and the coach library, where you do all your trainings in the back office, there is an invitation process PDF. Okay, I'm not gonna break it out for you right now, but here I'm gonna give you the basics of it. The first step in the 5-step invitation process is the invite. Is the actual message that you send someone to induce that curiosity that you're running a challenge group. It normally goes this way. It says, hey, John, I hope everything is good. And last week I was talking to a friend and you came up in my mind because we were talking about getting a challenge group together. And this is just a group that we're going to get all the guys in, and we're going to run it through Facebook, and we're all going to work out to one system, and we're going to use that system for 90 days. Is that something you want to do? So it's an invite. It's something that you're going to send a friend or an acquaintance, or maybe it could be a cold contact that you already formed. Okay. So step 1 is the invite. Step 2 is finding out why they would like to do that. So in step 2 is when you get a little bit more in two-way conversation about, okay, so if you want to get into this group, what would you like to accomplish? And that's when you ask them, okay, what would be your goal? And then when they say, I want to lose 20 pounds, that is not a deep enough goal for you to understand why this person want to do this. So now you ask, can I ask why is that important to you? That's when you dig a little deeper. And once you find out the why I want to do this because I could hardly move, or I sleep really bad at night. I snore and I wake up a lot, and I can't hardly go up the stairs. So they're telling you deeper things as to why they would like to do this. Once you have that, now you have what I call ammo. You have something that you can grab and use in the future when they try to say, nah, I don't want to do this, or I'll talk about that in a minute. And step number 3 is finding out how serious they are into joining the business. And step 3 is normally when I ask, how serious are you to make a commitment? That's when I ask that question. How serious are you to make a commitment of 90 days or a whole year of Beachbody on Demand? This is what I normally teach my team. 1 year commitment, Beachbody on Demand. Start with a kickstart, boom. Nobody does the $160 package. We do the $205 package, team-wide. So I challenge you, Team Advent, $205 package. Everybody starts with a 3-day refresh. Everybody. Hands down, everybody. If you haven't done it, you order it and start it, because you got to be product of the product, right? So number 4 in the 5-step process is exposing. Here's the chance for you to expose what this is all about. Now, some people get crafty with this area, or some people just leave it as the system is. If you leave it as the system is, you're going to show the current hot item that is in offer. Okay, so if you're inviting to a challenge group, and right now the hot package is the on-demand kickstart, then that's what you show. You're going to show an on-demand video. And I think Carl Deichler has one that he just made not like a month or 2 ago. You can use that one to expose what it is to get involved with a Beachbody on Demand package. All right. When they launch a new program, normally they would do a video for it, like Clean Week. Clean Week has a video. They show the Clean Week video. But this is for a challenge group. So like when Shift Shop came out, I would show them the Shift Shop. So this is when you expose what we're going to be doing. This is what we're going to be doing. Okay, that looks cool. All right, so they look at the video, and as soon as they stop watching the video, your first question should be, which is step 5, the pre-close and close. Step 5 is pre-close. What did you like about what you saw? When you ask this question, you're asking the person to only share with you what they liked. You're not telling them, hey, what did you think? That opens up a whole can. You don't want that. You want people to tell you only what they liked. So you say, what did you like about what you just saw? And they're going to tell you. So when they tell you, I like the fact that it's only a 22-minute workout. And it looks like the nutrition is simple. Really, this is you again. Really, tell me more about that. You dig a little deeper. All right? You should be writing this down. This is advanced. This is not all in the 5-step process. Okay? And then after they tell you that, this is what you when you say, well, it sounds to me like you're ready to get started. That is a pre-close question. And that is when you shut up and stop talking, stop selling, stop, quiet, zip it, and let them answer. If you have to put your notebook down or walk away or go grab a coffee and come back and wait for the response, then do it. But you ain't talking after that. You let them respond. The next one to respond after that question is that person, not you. Okay? Well, it sounds to me like you're ready to get started. And you can dress it up. Well, it sounds to me like you're ready to get started. Smile. It brings and invites that person to make a decision. And that's the whole purpose of the 5-step invitation process, bringing a person to make a decision. You're qualifying people for your time. That person will either tell you yes or no. When somebody tells you yes, you say, okay, are you nearby a computer? I will help you get signed up. Simple as that. Or set up an appointment to sign them up. I recommend that you sign up the person. Do not send a link. Here, sign yourself up. What I found is that our closing ratio, this is something that we found in 2016, our closing ratio went up significantly. We used to close 40%. Now we're closing 75 to 80%. Why? Because we sign them up. So you got to sign them up. If you sign them up, you guarantee the right package, the right delivery, the right address. Things happen, okay? And what we used to find is that people used to sign themselves up and make mistakes, and then they got to return a package, and then you lose your 2 success code points, and upset customer, So we are avoiding a lot by giving them the Ritz-Carlton treatment. Ding, Denny Johnson. So remember that if you give someone a good treatment, how are they going to treat their coaches or their clients when they sign them up? They're going to do the same. Okay, and then you're going to create an environment of treating each other right, treating each other with courtesy and a good environment, harmony, and all that. All right, and that's what you want in your team. Culture is built and it starts on how you start your new client and new coach. That's where it starts. Okay, so that's the 5-step invitation process. Invite, find out the why, how serious they are, expose the opportunity, and then close them. Okay. Now, we're in step number 5 of the 7 tips that I was sharing. Now, in step number 5, it's expose, involve, and upgrade. This is a concept, again, learned from Denny Johnson. Expose, involve, and upgrade. When you expose someone with anything we do, you can expose them with a clean week. You can expose them with a fit club. You can expose them with a virtual fit club. You can expose them with just a small video. Exposing people doesn't close them, does not get the business. Okay? So exposing them is one step. The second step is involving them. You can invite them to a sneak peek. You can invite them to a team get-together, a team training, a Zoom call. Because you can, as a team, put together a Zoom call to talk about nutrition. Anybody can come to it. Anybody. Okay? You can open it up public. And then what happens? The people that you invited to that Zoom now really interested. Okay? So you can expose people, but when you get them involved, they begin to feel like they're part of the team. And if all they can get from getting involved is a good feeling, and it's getting a good positive vibe from your team, then they're going to get an experience that they're going to be like, I want to be part of that. Because when I'm around them, I feel good. They make me feel welcome. So when you do that, then you upgrade them into a client or a coach. And it's very easy to do once they're involved. I mean, for fit clubs, you just invite people. And one day they're just going to be like, you know what do I got to do? I had people just come into the fit club and I didn't even know who they were. And then all of a sudden I knew them by first name. And then all of a sudden they stood around for 5 minutes and talked to me. And then all of a sudden, hey, what do I got to do? And then they were in my house signing up. So be patient. But exposing, involving, and upgrading is phenomenal. It works. All right. Number 6 is closing the deal. A lot of people forget to close. They do a lot of talking. They do a lot of stepping. I call it stepping when you use this 5-step process. But they're afraid to close. You know why they're afraid to close? Because they're afraid of rejection. So when you grow up in an environment, let's say at your house, where there is anxiety, resentment, a lot of arguing, maybe divorce, something like that. Or maybe you were told as a kid to explain yourself. These things can cause psychological traumas, all right? And we may have something in us that causes us to stop when we feel a little bit of pressure. So if you feel a little bit of pressure before you close something, anything, when you're about to get someone involved or started or signed up, it may come from there. I need you to identify it, write it down, and you may need to get help or talk to your upline. Okay? The reason you want to talk this out with someone is because there may be something that you will identify that will break you loose. Like it would set you free. And once you're set free, you're going to become unstoppable. You're going to be the best recruiter in the team. I'm telling you, it's amazing how you break the chains. And once you break those chains, nothing stops you. Because the number one reason why people don't close is because they don't ask. That's simple. They do not ask for the sale. They don't ask. They don't say, hey, are you ready to get started? That simple question, a lot of people do not ask. They just keep selling. So yeah, we do 21 days and and the containers and keep talking and blabbing. And then the people tell you, I want to think about it. Stop talking and ask for the sale. Hey, it seems like you're ready to get started. Shut up. That is a pre-close. And then when they tell you yes, okay, let's go get a computer and get you signed up. That's the close. All right? Now, when somebody tells you, no, I'm not ready, that's when you step into handling objections. Okay? Now, this is part number 7, where you're going to follow up with people and handle objections. Number 7. Following up with people is king. Following up is the key. A lot of people expose and they're in, they send them video. People didn't respond after the video. Most likely, most of the time is what happens. They see the video like, and they don't respond. Or you tell them the price, they don't respond, and they're like, oh, follow up. And that is when the training comes into play. Disconnect from the outcome. You're qualifying people for your time. Stop thinking, oh, they're probably going to say this. Oh, they're probably going to say that. Stop. Disconnect from the outcome. You're trying to qualify people for your time. That's it. That's all you do. Nothing else. You're not in my team yet. I don't have to worry about you. Just tell me if you're ready. I just want to know. How do I typically follow up? I send them a message. Hey, how are you doing? Wondering if you got the information. Did you get a chance to take a look at the video? If they don't respond to that one, I normally say, hey, just following up. Just want to make sure that nothing bad happened to you. Let me know if you got to see the video. Normally they respond right there. No, nothing bad happened to me. I'm telling you, that's key. Hey, did something bad happen to you? Did you get to see the video? They normally respond right away. Nah, nothing. And nowadays with text and messenger, you can see somebody read it. So you'll be like, okay, they saw it. Now they feel obligated too, because you sound concerned, right? So that's when they go, you know what? I got to respond to this one. So they do respond. And then they'll tell you their real concern, because I'm going to tell you the truth. If I bring somebody in with no objections, I'll be more worried about that person quitting than someone that came in with some questions or concerns. Because if you have no concerns, you come in all easy, you can leave the same way. So if someone comes in and they ask legitimate questions, how much is it? And how long is it? And what's the monthly? And do I have to pay Beachbody on Demand every month? Da, da, da. So they'll have legitimate questions. You got to be ready to answer that. That's simple. That's why you got to know your product. You got to know what you're offering. Okay. You need to get in that back office and learn your products. Okay. This is your business. It is not up to your upline to know this. You got to know this. So don't send your upline. Don't send your sponsoring coach question. Hey, how much is the challenge pack? No. That's like you owning a store, not knowing what's on the shelf. All right. So you're gonna have to take ownership on that and really know what's going on. The offering, everything that's going on for the promotions. You should know this, right? So asking these questions at follow-up will open up the handling objections section. And in handling objections, I would recommend that you write down the most common objections you get so that you can write a quick script of how to respond. And you can save that in your notes. You can save that in whatever so that you respond the same way every time. You save time on typing your thumbs away. Okay? So let's say the objection is for, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I need to talk to my spouse. Okay? That's like the most common one. Nah, I need to talk to my spouse. What? Okay. Some people say, I don't have the money. Some people say, I don't have the time. I work a night job. Okay, so here's tips on handling objections. When someone gives you an objection, it's a concern. It's not that they're not going to do it. It's a concern. It's something that is bothering them and stopping them from making a decision. They see themselves not capable. So when someone says, I don't have the money, which is, I think, 70% of the time what we get, I don't have the money. That's when I say, Okay. So how much does it take for you to get to having the full amount? Because sometimes it's that, not they don't have the full $199. By the way, I tell people it's $199. I don't tell them it's $160. The reason I say that is because the original time when it came out, BOD was $199, right? That's the original price. It's on sale right now, $160. But the original price is $199. And then I tell them, and for $6 more, you get the 3-day refresh. So that's how I get the whole package out. So in my steps, I put $199. So they already have $199. And when I close, I say, hey, for $6 more, you want the 3-day refresh? Yeah, $205. Got it. Boom. $205 package. Take notes. Write it down. Write it down. Okay. So sometimes they'll say, well, I really need like $50 more. I don't have that much money. I say, okay, so by when can you come up with that money? If they tell me, nah, I don't see myself ever like getting there or whatever, you say, okay, if I help you find $50, would you be willing to get started? You should write that down. If I help you find the rest of the money, would you be willing to get started? Remember, I'm not saying if I give you the $50, if I help you find it. In their mind, they're going to be like, well, yeah, but how are you going to do that? That's when you say, okay, can I ask you a couple of questions about your daily habits? Like you can ask questions and you ask permission to ask more questions about their spending habits or anything that they can use and sell at the house. Because sometimes you have the money in your closet, you have the money in your garage, and you can actually have the money to get started. So I get into a conversation of, can I ask a few questions so that we can find this money? If they're serious, they'll let you do it. If they're not serious, they'll come up with another objection. And when they come up with another objection and say, well, I don't really have the time, that's when I say, oh, okay, so is it that you don't really have the money and that you are now telling me that you don't have the time because you're not serious about losing those 20 pounds because you told me that you don't like what you see in the mirror? Remember step 2? You find out the why. He told me he wanted to lose 20 pounds because he didn't like what he saw in the mirror. That's when I said, that's when you got ammo. During objection handling is when you use the ammo and you bring it right back and you throw it right in their face and say, listen, you told me that you want to lose this 20 pounds and you said you were serious about losing this 20 pounds. But now you're telling me that you don't have the time. So are you serious about losing this weight or not? Now you make them think about it. They go, whoa, it is true. I shouldn't be making excuses. And they'll tell you to, okay, let's go ahead and do this. Or they'll tell you, yeah, I'm not ready. So the whole point of this is to get people to make a decision. Remember, qualify people for your time. Get people to make a decision. Objection handling is nothing more than getting people to make a decision. At the end, you will find out if you're going to be working with that person or not. And you're disconnected. You got to be able to work from a standpoint of being calm, collected, not connected to the outcome. Because if you are in an anxiety mode and things that shape your feelings and you're connected to all these things, you're going to attract what you're doing. And as you attract, you're going to attract people that are full of anxiety, not know what they have. They're overwhelmed. They don't know what they're doing. And that's what you're going to be attracting. And then you're going to be like, I'm frustrated. I don't know why I attract these people. It's because you have to get aligned. You have to calm down and disconnect from the outcome. Okay. Most of the time, most of the problem is that we are anxious to get someone started and we transmit the same energy to that person. So you got to be careful on the way you deliver. All right. It comes with time. It's a skill you have to develop. But the only way to get it developed is to do it every day. Okay. So if you're not talking to people every day, something's got to start changing. So the other objection, time. I'll do the same thing. Same thing. How much time do you think this takes? just that question. I always ask, how much time do you think this takes? And they'll come up with a world like, well, I can't be cooking for like 5 hours, and I can't be, meal prepping for like 20 hours, and I can't be working out for 2 hours. I can't go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. Whoa, calm down. Do you have 30 minutes for yourself? Do you have 30 minutes for work? Let's start there. Do you have those 30 minutes? Can you dedicate 30 minutes for you? Yes. Okay. Can you dedicate at least 1 or 2 hours in the week to prepare your meals? Yes. That's how long it takes. And then the person's like, oh, okay. And normally when people tell me, I work late and all this stuff, I say, look, we'll readjust your workout schedule to fit where you are. Oh, you would? Yeah. It's a simple conversation, and then we'll set it up so that you do the workout at certain times. Can you dedicate 30 minutes to yourself? Yeah. Okay. 30 minutes a day is all it takes. And the time objection just goes out the window. Right? Now, the one for the spouse, which is the third popular one. For me, I guess for my audience, the spouse, because we attract a lot of couples. So the spouse is always something. And the way that I like to handle a spouse is I always say, I am sure that you're talking because I'm sure that you're telling me this because you always talk to your spouse too, like I do. So what you're telling them is that I am aware that spouse communication is important. And then I tell them, now, do you always consult with your spouse before you make any buying decision, including a new pair of shoes? So most women say, nah, I don't ask permission. No, not permission. Like they'll be like, no, I don't ask permission for a pair of shoes. I was like, okay, so how does this compare to a pair of shoes or handbag or something? So they'll start comparing and they'll be like, okay, you know what? A handbag is like $700, $800. This is not even compared to it. And then they'll normally either give in right there, or they'll say, no, I still got to talk to my spouse. So then I say, okay, can you talk to your spouse and actually tell him that you're going to do this, or are you going to ask permission to do this? Because when you have a spouse that is controlling, they'll let you know. When they have a spouse that's controlling, like controls everything they do, they'll let you know right there. They say, yeah, I have to talk everything over. Or, no, I'm just going to tell them I'm going to do it. Okay, so then if they tell you, no, I'm just going to tell them I'm going to do it, then let's set up an appointment so we can sign them up and close them. But if they still got to talk to their spouse, you say, okay, let's make sure that your spouse, listen closely, let's make sure that your spouse sees the same information you saw. And here's the reason. Don't depend on that prospect to close their spouse because they don't have the same information. They're just going to go to them and say, hey, I want to join this group with some amazing ladies. And No. If possible, arrange a meeting between you and the couple so that the spouse sees and hears from you and you close. You're the skilled one, not the prospect. The prospect is not going to be able to close the spouse. You close them. That's from my experience, okay? And the time that I've had spouses to do a meeting with me, it's 100% closing ratio. I haven't had anybody say no. And it's the power of the third person. That's what it is. Okay. So are there any other objections that you're handling that I didn't touch? And I will move into questions and answers from now. Let me see. Elvira was putting in there, isn't that creating a codependency relationship? Well, what did you mean by that, Elvira? You can unmute if you want.
I'm not sure her screen. I can't see her. There were other questions. Rosie and Margaret both asked the same thing. What I think the question was, because you said you helped them sign.
Do I collect their credit card info? I'm on the phone with them. I go into my Beachbody Coach website with the screen open and them on the phone telling me their information. And if people like, know, and trust you, they will even text you their credit card information. I mean, I've had people inbox me with the whole everything. That's because you gotta build rapport with them. You gotta build that relationship with people before you invite them. If you're inviting people very cold, that you're not even establishing a conversation with them, that's very, very amateur. You can't do that. It just leads to trouble. So I would, if the person is not comfortable giving the information over the phone, then ask them if they're competent using a computer or whatever. Because sometimes we help people that don't even know how to use a computer well, and you say, okay, you're good, you're versed using a computer and checking your email and all that stuff, right? Yeah, okay. Then here's a link. Da-da-da. Once you're done, give me a message. Send me a message. I'm done. And then, boom. But the way we normally do it is we just get on the phone. I get on the screen, go into my Beachbody account, click coach or client, boom, boom, and go through. That's the way I do it.
I've done that in the past, Carlos. And like you said, when people trust you, they'll send you like everything. And I personally don't feel comfortable with them sending me their number or their a picture of it, through the internet. So like you said, I get them on, typically I'm closing someone on the phone. That's just my style. I typically don't do the back and forth. To me, it just takes a little longer, but I feel like when you're getting you and Ivy, I feel like you guys get like an influx. I feel like being on the phone, it's not practical. But for me, I get them on the phone and I'd rather them give me their credit card on the phone than for them to text it to me because, I feel like the internet, not and all of that stuff for safety reasons. But you're right. When people like and trust you, they feel like they know you, they're going to give you even their social security number.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
They already trust you. And for us, we do get an influx of people. Most of them are unqualified. So we have to shuffle through a lot. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that raise their hands and say, I want to get in. But when you get down to the interview, they disqualify themselves sometimes through the interview and say, no, I'm not ready. Because, step number 3 is a little bit in your face. I always ask them, how serious are you? We got to work with a lot of people. So we're looking for someone that's very serious about work and making a commitment. And then they're like, no, I'm not ready. Just that question disqualifies so many. So it's shuffling. Okay. So just like a deck of cards, you can only find 4 aces in there. So if you get 52 leads, you're only going to find the 4 aces in there. You got to shuffle through and find them. Once you find them, then you sign them up. But the amount of numbers that you interview sharpen your skills on spending less time in an interview.
Right.
So that's why I don't waste time when I'm interviewing. As soon as I hear non-committal language, I'm out. I say, hey, thanks for contacting me. You can follow us. Here's a website. Here's our blog. Da da da. And they just become infected with what we're doing until they feel they're ready. That's why we put a lot of content out. We're putting out YouTube videos. We're putting out blog posts. We're putting out podcasts, broadcasting. We're involving people in what we're putting out. They get used to our voice, seeing us on video. It's inevitable because it's part of the expose, involve, and upgrade that they come back and get involved. They upgrade themselves. But a new follower will typically disqualify themselves. And then as they become a more seasoned follower, like they follow you for 4 months, 6 months, then they're ready to come in. We still do a small bit of prospecting. And you guys got to understand this. At no point I want you to compare yourself with a certain type of coach in the network in Beachbody because of their style, okay? What I taught you today is prospecting, and that's what you need to be. If you're a new coach and you're not even hitting a Success Club 10 a month, you need to be prospecting. Attraction marketing is something that we use now because we have the luxury to do it, because we have the credibility. We built it over years. It's 6 years, guys. This is not, we started yesterday. So a lot of people follow us, and we can just do a little bit of marketing and get messages asking to join. But out of those messages, a lot of them are even unqualified. So attraction marketing does work in the future. Right now, you got to concentrate on prospecting because that's what the numbers is going to show you what kind of quality you're going to bring into the team. I always tell new coaches to just concentrate on prospecting, contacting at least 5 to 10 people a day, brand new contacts, and you will hit success for 5 or 10 every month. But the minute you miss, like you do it on Tuesday, you do it on Wednesday, and take the rest of the week off, because you spoke to 15 and you feel like, wow, I spoke to 15 today. You missed the bus. Consistency, if you read the compound effect, consistency is what actually breaks everything open. Like that's when you go, yeah, Margaret, you got it. So I'm telling you, if you stay consistent on prospecting, you will break Success Club 10, Success Club 20, Success Club 30. But it has to become a habit. If you don't make it a habit, like this is something that I also teach in private. I also teach this. In order for you to get rid of things that sabotage your daily routine, you have to create new habits. And to create new habits, you have to have consistency and discipline. If you don't have those two, forget about it. Consistency is what's going to get you to create a new habit, and a new habit will replace our old bad habit. How do I break through? When you're in a state of asking, how do I, you are overwhelmed. Stop asking, how do I? And you need to find out who is doing it and learn from them. So if you think you can do this by yourself, you're wrong. You can't do this by yourself. You need to connect with people and connect with those that are already doing it. Find out what they're doing. Stick to one system. Don't be jumping around. System, this system, that system, system, that system. Stick to one system that works. You find one person that is doing it right. You stick to that system and forget about it. And you're going to be successful. All right. But if you're trying to do, such and such coach does this clean eating group. Such and such does the sneak peek. Such and such coach does this and that. And you're all over the place. You don't have a system yourself. You have to stick to one system. Stop trying to jump around. That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
So Elvira said, let me see if I can unmute her so she can.
Okay.
Uh, did I? No, no. Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
So my the codependency issue comes around if that's the first impression that you're giving them, that you're gonna handhold them through the signing up process, they're gonna think that you're gonna handhold them through their own journey as well. And the sustainability of that is not, it's not sustainable, especially when you're getting bigger and bigger. So what I'm trying to say here is, yes, the closing rate is higher, but how do you break them off from that first impression of, hey, they're gonna handhold me throughout the entire process?
Okay, that's a very good question, and I like the fact that you're asking it. Now, like you said, does that create codependability? It does if you do not set your standards from the beginning. Now, when we sign someone up, we give them our guidelines of how we work immediately. So when they have their first call, we give them our expectations. Here's my expectations. You're going to do this. You're going to be in the group. You're going to show up. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. We immediately break dependency. Now, if you think that it's possible, I don't know. Maybe our numbers as a team will tell you that it is. So when you break the cord early with expectations, I'm telling you, expectations is what makes or breaks an organization. Because as the leader, you may bring them in like that because you want your coaches to have a high closing ratio. At the same time, you teach your coaches that on the first call, you give them expectations. And when you give people expectations, it breaks them off right immediately. Because I immediately tell them, your success depends on you. I am here to help you. I'm not here to do your business. I am not here to work out for you. I can't eat the right nutrition for you. I can't do the sit-ups for you. I can't do the contacting. I can't do none of that for you. Your success as a coach depends on you. I am here to help you. If you don't ask for help, I'm not here. So when you want my help, you ask for help. And that's my expectation immediately. They know that if they want help in this business, they have to search for me. I am not going to chase you. You got to tell your people expectations from the beginning, and it breaks them off immediately. They understand that they have a responsibility. So that's a great question. Thank you.
And that makes complete sense. Thank you for the feedback.
Awesome. I like that.
The next question from Denise is, how long does it take you to complete an interview?
Okay, depends on the day. Sometimes my fastest one was 10 minutes from start to being on the phone to actually sign them up. The longest, probably 3 or 4 days. Because it all depends. Like some people, they look at the message and then the next day they look at the next message. Then the next day they look at the next message. So it depends on the person. And if someone is sitting right there going back and forth on messages, they'll get closed the same day. Normally. Our closing daily is, we're close to like 1 or 2 a day.
Awesome. Let me see. Do you have like 2-3 more minutes, Carlos, to answer questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
So if there's anyone else that has a question, either type it in the chat or just unmute yourself.
Or if you have something that made you go, I want to hear it.
Don't be shy. Then they'll message me like, they'll ask me and I'll be like, okay.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Carla.
Hi, Carla.
Oh, the aha moment was the aha moment was when You said something about that having a hard time closing, when people are having a hard time closing. And that was me. I had the hardest time closing. And you said something about it must have been with the parents, with getting divorced, growing up in a household with arguing. And I was like, whoa, that is so like what I went through. I was going through a divorce. My mom was always arguing. And every time I had to ask someone, well, are you ready? I was having a hard time doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So finally, I reached out to a couple of coaches, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What's going on? And they just set me to the right direction. So you're absolutely right about the coaching. You can't have someone like babysitting you. You know what I mean? Like all the time. We're a team, and it takes a team effort. So don't hesitate to reach out to someone that is not your upline coach. And I hit SE10 last month, so I'm really proud of myself. I wasn't able to, thank you.
Awesome.
I hadn't been able to do that unless, and I mean, I was going through emotions, like crying. Oh my God, what am I doing wrong? So what I want to say is just don't hesitate to ask anybody, especially like the top dogs, like Saudi and Mickey and you guys. When they said Carlos Morales, is that Evie Morales' husband? Like, I didn't connect it until Gabriella introduced you. So thank you so much for all of this content. It really did give me that moment. Like, oh, so that's what's going on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that it did reach a special part of helping you understand where your problem was and why it was that you had to take a different direction. And now you have to do a little deeper search in you to forgive people in your life that have scarred you. And one thing that has helped us is to learn to forgive yourself for failing so many times in your life. And if you can learn to forgive yourself, you will learn to let go of feelings that make you overwhelmed, and it shapes you when it comes to making decisions and all of that stuff. Whether you know it or not, it does. So the biggest thing that I can tell people is, if you really want breakthrough in your business, you need to learn how to forgive. First, forgive yourself, and then forgive others. And if you have to go out of your real comfort zone and go ask for forgiveness to someone because you hurt them, do it. Because I'm telling you, that's the moment you can go live and not worry about anybody, because your mind is clear. Because most of the time we don't go live. Most of the time we don't expose ourselves because we have, something in the back, a big ass backpack full of junk that we're carrying around because we never said I'm sorry, or we'd never asked for forgiveness somewhere. And I'm telling you, if you really want to break through in your business, go ask for forgiveness. Forgive whoever you got to forgive. If that person already passed away, go pray in a closet. Go do something. But when you make your heart right, that's when you're abundant, like for real. Like when you let everything go, you will be a recruiting monster. You want breakthrough? Watch. Do that part.
Carlos, thank you for this call. This was awesome. The aha moment that I wanted to share was when you said you attract people based on the energy you transmit. If you're anxious, you're going to attract anxious people. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, that's what I've been doing, and I'm going to stop doing it right now. So the other thing I wanted to say is that you may not know this, but a few months ago, Ivy spoke on one of our calls, And you guys are clearly integrated as a couple, because she'd spent a lot of time talking about forgiveness and showing mercy and just having forgiveness in your heart, you know, and gratitude. And that posture alone is like harnessing your own power, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To have the willingness to forgive and to actually do it genuinely and authentically, just absolutely just fuels you up in a way that, you know, forcing it can never do. So thank you. I appreciate everything you've had to say tonight.
Well, thank you for sharing. That's awesome to hear that, because that is one of our purposes in you know, we call Beachbody our ministry, because we use fitness as their fishing hook. And when somebody ends up in our team, they're gonna hear about Beachbody or Jesus. Sorry, you know, I don't care what your religion is. We have people that are Islamic in our team. I mean, we got people that are full blown Islam, but we speak about, you know, our Bible and everything. But we don't discriminate anybody from coming in. But we know the principle of forgiveness, and that is something that frees you, like for real. The moment that we did that, we became unstoppable. I'm telling you, unstoppable, because you don't have to hide from anyone. We had people like 2 months ago, I was coaching a girl, and I say a girl because she's really young. So I was coaching her, and then she mentioned that she got abused when she was a teen, and I didn't know, you know, oh man. And then she's like, well, I have to expose this because I gotta come clean. And then she said that, and then I was like, okay, where is that person? She was like, well, it's back home. Back home where? Oh, another country. Okay. Does that person have access to Facebook? Yeah. Contacted me before and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of weird. And I was like, okay. What I need you to do is block the entire country. Block whoever you know and that knows that dude. Okay? If you have family members that know him, block them too. She's like, what? I said, block them all. You know why? Because they ain't going to be in your business anyway. So block them all. If they're your family member, tell them that you are no longer on Facebook to contact you through the phone. And she did. She blocked everybody possible that could have a connection to that dude. And she unfolded on live. She went crazy on live. She has no fear, because her fear was that dude was watching. So there's things that stop you from going live, stop you from actually exposing what you have, because you have a gift. You're not exposing it because you're afraid. And you got to stop being afraid. That really holds you back. And if you're afraid of someone watching you or judging you, including your mom or dad or whatever, then block them out of Facebook. They ain't going to be in your team. So I'm telling you the truth. You're using social media for building your business, then get them out of your business. You're using social media for that purpose. Get them out, or make another account just for them to keep them happy. Show the kid pictures. But if you're building your business, block them. Just block them. So, you know, we got family members that are blocked. We got friends that are blocked. Why? It's just like anybody else. Even in the best families, you got negative people. You got people that suck your energy out. So I recommend that you do that, and you'll see that you will change the way that you share on social media when you have all those people out of your life.
Yeah, I know, and I'm gonna read what Audrey said, and then I'm just gonna and Elvira, and then I'm gonna add something to what you're talking about. So Audrey says, Gabby and I were just talking about this on Friday. Broken people can't build this business until they work on themselves. And then Elvira said, I keep looking for the love button. She loves it. And it's so true. You know, you mentioned, you opened up this call by saying, you know, were students of Danny Johnson, and that is like the first exercise she does. And it made, the first time when I went to Danny, no one really explained to me what Danny was all about. I thought I was going there to just go for business principles. Like, that's all I knew. People kept saying, go, you're gonna learn so much. But I had no idea. And I went with Jorge, and I'm happy that I went with my husband for the first time. And we got more than what we were expecting. And that is the first thing she does, and it's something very uncomfortable to put yourself through. And I mean, I was like, I know that at first, and Jorge went through it too, but he was looking at me like, what the, like, ugly cry, like, snot, like, it was just, but it's good. I mean,
liberational, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because you have all this weight that you carry around on a daily basis.
And it's gone.
And that holds you down, and you can't be great if you have all this resentment and all this fear and, just all this hate and, just all these different feelings that we go through, right, on a daily basis. And I think that that's one of the most important things. And when I speak to you, and Ivy, I know that that's one of the first steps that you guys go through with, whether it's a challenger or a coach, because people can't be great if they're carrying, all of this. So thank you.
That's correct. That's correct. And let me tell you this, as a Danny Johnson Dynasty graduate, that's the advanced, more than first steps to success. I'm gonna tell you this, before Danny Johnson, I was really bad in debt. Our relationship was really in shambles. We weren't as tight as we were. And I was way out of shape and all of that stuff, okay? After going to Danny Johnson and First Steps to Success and Dynasty, our relationship got tighter. I mean, for real. Like, we understood each other and how we spoke to each other and everything. We got out of debt. We fixed a lot of things that are on a personal level. So I don't know about you. You may have a perfect marriage. You may not be in debt, or, you may not have all these issues. But what you got to do is register for the next First Steps to Success.
I agree. And Dynasty is like some other level stuff. So, but she's definitely, amazing. I love everything. And I always tell, my team, I tell them, I can't do her any justice by trying to explain what you'll experience there. You just got to go, because, to us, for Jorge and I, it opened up doors that we never even knew existed. We've been connected to resources, to people, and just really gotten courageous to do things that have lived inside of us for a very long time. So,
and that's what I mean by follow one system, guys. We don't follow no other trainer in the industry but Danny Johnson, and it works.
Mm-hmm. Yes, stick to one. But thank you, Carlos. Let me see, I'm gonna do this so that, because I have you as the view on my screen, so that, because I'm recording, I want people to see just you. But thank you so much for jumping on tonight, guys. I told you, be ready, because Carlos always delivers. I got a ton of notes. This is actually a call that I'm gonna go back. I was like trying to write everything. This is a call you want to go back to, listen.
I get a bonus.
Hey, hey. ¿Cómo estamos?
No sleep. What's up?
Yeah, I know.
How you doing, girl?
Good.
Bring it. See? You got a hashtag, bring it.
That's right.
All the time. You gotta do it.
He always makes an appearance.
Yeah, I'm listening to him and I'm like, all right, I'm getting trained here again.
Yeah.
And I was like following up as he was speaking.
There you go. See, she was like, oh, let me put that in.
Yeah, he was talking about invitations, so that's exactly what I was doing, like
inviting people.
And this is when you build it. This is the time of the night when you build it. Those of you that want to come home and want to do this full time, you got to put in the time. You can't just go to the beach. And, maybe in New York, you can't just go to a park. You can't, I'm telling you, no, you got to put in the work. And then you can enjoy the lifestyle that this brings. Husband and wife at home now.
And even
stay at home dad, stay at home mom. And now, we're empowering other couples to do it. So we invite you to do it.
Yeah. And even after you come home and you're doing this, it's like the more you want to accomplish in life, the more responsibility you have. Because it's just not like we're home. We are like grinding, working.
We're just getting started. So if you think that, where we are is nice, we're just getting started. This is not even the surface of where we're going.
I always talk about you guys and how I explained to my team that for you guys to be where you are today, because a lot of the teammates, call Carlos and Ivy on the top already, right? And I'm like, but you guys don't know what they went through to be here, And Carlos mentioned it's been 6 years guayando, right? And it's true, right? We can't compare our chapter 1 to our chapter, whatever, how many months you guys are here. But we have to appreciate, and I was telling Audrey, we met on Friday and we were talking about, I get inspired and I'm like, what can I learn? What are they doing that I can implement in my system? Because that you never compare yourself. You always get inspired to get better, right? And to implement what's working. So, I really love seeing you guys, do your thing and really just paving the way for all of us. So thank you for your leadership.
You're welcome. Just think about this. I know you guys gotta go. Just think about this. You don't, like all of us, and I'm gonna break it down this way because I have it in Spanish in my mind, so I cannot. I'm gonna do my best translating that in the way I want you to understand it. Like, let's say for an example, if I'm a size 2 and if you're size 6 and I'm a size 2 and your goal is to be in size 2 and maybe you like my shirt and you want to put it on, you got to think about it because you don't know how much it took for me to reach size 2 and how much I had to pay to get there. So anytime we see somebody, we have to be very careful, like be inspired. And if you have a conversation with that person, I think you want to know not about their success, but more about their struggles. Because that's what makes them where they are and who they are. And that's what got them where they are. So you want to know about their struggles instead of their success. Because that's where you learn. And everyone, like you have your own vestimenta, how would you say that? Your own
wardrobe.
Yeah, like you don't want to wear or carry on with what the other people have and the success that they have because they have to go through their own struggles and maybe you don't have the capacity to go through those pains because you're not there yet. So you got to grow at your own pace and be grateful for every experience and recognize that you're not going to stay there, you're going to do better, but at the same time appreciate every downfall, every mistakes, because that's how you grow and no one will be able to do it the way you're doing it because you're doing it based on your own experience. And there is a why deep inside of you that is really pushing you, which is not the same why as anybody else. So that's what makes you unique in this career or anything else that you do in life. And that's something that I'm very careful when I see somebody succeeding. I'm like, I don't want to wear their shoes because I don't want to know what they go through. And
you got to go through your own journey and enjoy it. And
you appreciate them.
We say enjoy it, but it's you are the only one that knows what you're going through. And to try to fill somebody else's shoes, don't even try that. Run your own journey.
Yeah, and you shine with your own light and go as far as you want to go, regardless of any situation. Just stay committed to yourself and your dreams. You're doing this for you. You're doing this for your family. You're doing this for your generations to come. So when you do it with passion, wake up with a mindset where you're going to impact, be joyful as you work. You're going to have hard time. That is normal. Don't be afraid of that. Learn from it. And like the word says, all things work good for those who love God, who has been called by purpose.
Amen.
So everything that happens in your life, it serves a purpose. So yeah, this is not my calling.
No, but we appreciate you guys. Seriously, you guys are a great, example to follow. I mean, you guys are gonna be in leadership, both.
Yes.
Jorge estaba quejándose because am I the only guy from Team Eagle going? I'm like, nah, I doubt it.
No, I have
let me tell you something. I will not, as long as I have health and I will not miss an event. That is not negotiable.
I can fly it on my own. I don't travel on my own. That's the reason why he retired, and we worked hard so that he can be there all the time.
If you negotiate going to events, your heart is not here. You might get offended. If you didn't go to the last Super Saturday because you chose not to go because it was your son's birthday or something like that, you're not in it all the way. You have to have the events that are for this career set in your calendar. And if you have to celebrate somebody's birthday on Friday because it's a Saturday, Super Saturday, then do it on a Friday. But there are things that you can't move them. And as you grow in leadership here, Success Club trips, you're going to go. Coach Summit, you're going to go. Leadership, you're going to go. New Leadership Conference, you are going to go. The reason you have to go, it's not because I'm telling you, it's because your people require that. They need to see where they're going, and you are the light that's shining for them. You're the one that's saying, come on, it's possible. Yeah. But when you don't show up to events, you're telling your team it's okay to not to go. Yeah. That's why, to me, they're non-negotiable.
It's like celebrate now and celebrate later.
That's right.
We have done it many times.
Yeah. We were just at the beach earlier.
Listen, we took Matias on his birthday to Dynasty.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. And, he's little. He won't remember, but we still celebrated him.
There you go.
But it was important for us to be there, so we sacrificed that. So, yeah, no, for us, and I feel like there's something special that happens when your spouse is there and he's listening and, and then we get to discuss what did you take from that and, and it's just something, powerful that happens. So,
and now that you're mentioning about the couple and the spouse to be there, if any of you right now, your spouse is not on board, just relax. One of the things I'm going to tell you is be a wise wife. Be careful how you talk about the business around your spouse and your kids. Whatever you put out, that's what they're going to receive, and that's going to be their perspective about this business. And complaining and being upset and being overwhelmed and this is not working, people are not coming in, that's not going to help. They're going to be like, I don't want you to do this. This is too stressful for you. He doesn't want you to be stressful. And you already have issues and problems in your house, maybe with your spouse, finances and everything else. So if you are acting overwhelming, this is too much.
They're not going to want you to do it.
No. So then you have to
just
be
to
wise.
Protect you. There's nothing against the business, but to protect you, they will say, well, if this is not good for you, then you should quit it. Yeah. And then you're like, why are you being negative? That's not it. It's because they see you and your attitude is saying, get me out of here. But like I told Saudi when she was just a diamond, I told her, Saudi, just show your husband a paycheck. He will come around. And she was like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. And she did. Now she's the breadwinner of that place. And he's a true believer that this works. But that's all you got to do. You show your husband this works. You go to work.
Man, Woo, we got more than what we asked for, right? Seriously, thank you guys. I'm excited to see you guys. Ahí viene Jorge. He's paying attention.
Mira, Mireya is asking when's the next event. All you gotta do is just contact your coach, and then your coach is gonna let you know when the next event is.
Ahí está Jorge.
Hola, ¿cómo estamos?
¿Cómo están?
Bien. Nos vemos allá en leadership.
Oh, absolutely. See you in Vegas.
Yeah, boy.
Excellent.
We're excited. So thank you guys once again. Thank you, Carlos. I mean, Ivy knows. Like every time I'm around Carlos, I'm all ears. I'm like, tell me what else I need to learn, you know? They're both. I mean, I feel like she pumps me up with that inspiration, motivation, you know? But then Carlos is just like a wealth of knowledge. So we appreciate that. El profe.
He loves teaching. That's his world.
That's natural to me.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, next time I think I gotta have like my notebook just in case I run into you. So I'm like, dime. But thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. I know that the team, you know, got a lot. I know I took notes. Like I said, this is a call that you want to go back to take more notes, share your notes, compare your notes, because whatever my takeaways were different, you know. The two ladies that spoke, Carla and Amy, right? Their aha moments. I was like, I heard that, right? But they were ready to receive that. And, you know, my takeaways are different. So I think it's important for all of us to always share, because maybe some of us missed a couple of things. So thank you once again for your knowledge. Thank you guys for your leadership. Congratulations once again for all of your success. And we'll see you in leadership.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Buenas noches.
Bye.